Right here, you may want to think twice before you send that next email. The U.S. government may soon be able to read it. Well, that's if they expand cyber monitoring through Einstein technology to the private sector, as some federal officials are proposing. Here to tell us more about it, what this means, is Declan McCullough. He's a correspondent from CNET, and he joins us from San Francisco. Now, Mr. McCullough, not much is known about how this software actually works from what I've read, but what do we know about how it could infringe on people's civil liberties if it's really extended to the private sector?
Well, it's a good question, and the answer depends on the details. If it is written perfectly and the people running it are perfect civil servants who never decide to peek on individual network traffic, it's actually amounts to a kind of an outsourcing of security, and there's not that much of a privacy invasion. But once this infrastructure is in place, and once you have something that can watch what people are doing, and perhaps to block access to sites that the government doesn't like, then you have a potential for a real civil liberties nightmare. So it all depends on the details.
Well, and with the NSA involved, which is known for wiretapping during the Bush administration, are these details that concern you?
I think anytime you have the prospect of the National Security Agency looking at Americans' internet conversations, and of course that also means people communicating with Americans, not just folks here in the U.S., then that does raise privacy concerns. I think it's worth being very vigilant about this. But the problem is, this is a classified program. We don't have enough information. Even the House Intelligence Committee, and these are folks with security clearances, said in a report that this is overly vague because of too much classification. So if they're going to do this, let's find out a lot more information first.
So when people that are defending this say you don't have to be Big Brother to provide protection with this software, do you buy that defense?
Well, it depends on, the answer depends on information we don't know about. In theory, it doesn't have to be Big Brother. In theory, there are some benefits to this. Let's imagine that you're a company and you're getting some cyber attacks. You're Google, Yahoo, Microsoft, Facebook, Twitter, who knows what. And you're getting attacked on a daily basis, and perhaps, I doubt this is actually the case, but perhaps the NSA and Homeland Security have come up with technology that's better at fending off these attacks than what you already have. It's kind of like the government devises an alarm system that's better than what ADT or Brinks can deliver, right? And if they install that on private networks, there could be some benefits, but I think that it would be unwise to just look at the benefits without looking at the dramatic downsides as well if it's used for the wrong way or falls into the wrong hands.
Certainly, and I just want to ask you about, the White House has confirmed that the latest version of this software is trying to stop cyber attacks, but I've talked to a number of people who say cyber attacks aren't this threat that they're made out to be, that they're, the hype is fueled by actually government contractors who have a product to sell, many who, maybe worked for the NSA at one time.
Absolutely, and it's a revolving door. They work for the NSA or DHS or any of these three-letter agencies, and they move into the private sector, they hype it up, and then they come back at an assistant secretary position and they make more money. It's this revolving door. So let's look at incentives here. The government has an incentive to overhype cybersecurity. And you saw an administration official in the Washington Post with an op-ed, I think it was just yesterday, saying, oh, this is war. It's a war on drugs, it's a war on terror, now it's a war on cyber, I guess. So there's this incentive to hype on the part of the government, on the part of defense contractors, on the part of politicians, on the part of even some journalists to get readers. So in reality, there should be no critical infrastructure on the Internet. If it's critical, don't connect it to the Internet. There should not be power plants or nuclear power plants hooked up to the Internet. If they are, this is wrong. Let Homeland Security take a look at that instead of saying we need to eavesdrop on the Internet, even if it's just limited eavesdropping for security purposes.
Well, that's a great point. Thanks for bringing us up to speed on this issue, and we'll have to see what happens with the federal government looking to expand that cyber monitoring right into our own computers.